from paperboutique.blogspot.com. Today we will be using the Imagine to make double-sided paper. Before we move to the Imagine to make this particular card, I want to show you how easy it is to make the double-sided paper. This card was made using SEI paper. One side of the paper was solid green and the other side of the paper was white. And it looked just like this, except obviously it was green. This is SEI paper, fairly heavy cardstock, and the back of the paper is white. I'm thrilled with this technique because I have a lot of paper that's white on one side. Next, I want to show you a card, and I also made, before I move to the next card, I also made an envelope to match this particular card, and this was also made using double-sided paper. I used gray paper, put it face down, and then printed on the back of it, which was white. I love this look, and I also like the look on the Imagine that the paper sizes proportionately. If you cut a smaller size of paper, the stripes will shrink in size, and an envelope will look, the stripes will look bigger, and I think it just gives you a great coordinated look. Well, let me give you another example of making double-sided paper. I made this card using just plain Basil beige cardstock, and I put it on the mat and then I printed over the top of it using the Imagine More cartridge. And it's just a super simple way to make double-sided paper. Next I tried, I'll just bring this back in, next I tried printing on the back of Kirkland's Photo Glossy paper, and I love this paper and use it for most of my cards. However, I didn't have good luck. When I tried to print on the back of the glossy paper, the ink would pull up. Now, you may want to try it with different photo glossy papers, but the Kirkland's didn't work for me. I also want to show you an example of just a little circle I printed using plain Basil paper. And if you use Basil paper, you can easily print on both sides of the paper. The ink doesn't pull up. Well, I think this technique would also be fun if you have, if you're going to make purses or anytime you need double-sided paper. Well, let's move to the Imagine and I'll show you how I made this particular card. Now we're going to go ahead and make the card. I've already inserted the Wildcard cartridge and the Imagine More cartridge. This card is super simple. I'm going to click off of that so we have the regular screen showing. For the card, I'm going to click on the card, then I'm going to click on the frame, and we have the card and the frame. Now we're going to edit. We're just going to click on the little pencil to edit. And this particular card is sized at 7 inches. However, if you want to make an envelope for it, go ahead and size your card at 6.5 inches because the largest envelope you can make for this particular card is 6.5 inches. We're going to go ahead and apply the color, and for this particular card I used the light green fill, and we'll hit apply. Then we'll go back and do the same process for the frame, edit, and because we have the relative size button highlighted, the frame will cut proportionately. Then we're going to move down and fill it with the striped paper. Then we're going to click apply. And then we're going to click next. At this point, what I would do is I'd be using a piece of white paper that's white on one side and green on the other. So I'll put the green piece of the paper face down, and then this will print the white, which will give you a wonderful two-sided paper. This couldn't be easier. I love using the Imagine for double-sided paper. I'm going to click on next, make sure our settings are correct, and then we're going to print it. I'll print it out and we'll get back together and I'll show you a couple of techniques I used when assembling this card. Now we're going to assemble our card. I'm not going to take your time to do all of the individual pieces. I just want to point out a couple of things. I attached the frame to my card, and then I did the rub-on. The buttons are I simply used twine to crisscross them and tied a little knot in the back and attached them with a glue dot. But I really want to show you the technique I used with the bow. There are times when you don't have a layer and you want to just tie your bow around the card. What I do, and I hope you can see this, is I cut a very small slit right on the fold of the paper, not, you know, much larger than the ribbon. In fact, I try to get it to the exact size, and then I just open it up or put the ribbon through and tie the bow. If you would like more information on how to tie ribbons, please check out my YouTube video on how to tie bows. And remember, if you don't have an Imagine, you can still make both of these cards by using the Wild Card cartridge in your Expression or Baby Bug. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and please check out my blog at www.paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.